Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is the 9th. This is Kevin McNew to my right here. We had an interesting day in Chicago with corn trading up 6 cents. We had soybeans up 4 1/4 and wheat in Chicago down 4 1/2 cents here on the day. Now we did get some nice export sales early on. 136,000 metric tons sold to South Korea here for 14-15 delivery. 116,000 metric tons of sorghum sold to unknown destinations. Of course, that very well could be China here, as they have been a very large purchaser of sorghum this year. Let's talk a little bit about the cash market here, Kevin. We look at this typically every week. Have we seen any basis changes here as we go into this report?
Yeah, this has been a pretty quiet week in terms of basis movements. We didn't see a lot of big shifts in basis. Of notable interest, I guess, in corn, we did see ethanol plants in the western corn belt, particularly in Iowa and into Nebraska, raising their basis by about a dime. We're seeing a little bit of tightness in that part of the country. But in the rest of the country, it was pretty flat in terms of basis. Corn at the Gulf was off a penny. We've had some lowering of barge costs, especially along the Ohio River, where they have a sort of an abundance because of the freezing on the Illinois River. So we are seeing a little bit of strength in terms of river terminals. And that was particularly true for soybeans, where soybeans got a lift out of the Gulf with an 8-cent improvement in basis at the export terminal there. So that filtered through to river terminals. We didn't see much movement in terms of soybean plants. So overall, pretty quiet week. It'll be interesting to see after Monday's report if the cash market picks up a little more.
Absolutely, and on that Monday's report, we're going to have really a number of reports. We're going to have the supply and demand, the quarterly grain stocks, the winter wheat seedings, as well as crop production. Kevin, let's talk a little bit about this crop production estimates. What are you seeing here for corn and soybeans?
Yeah, again, January is the final USDA estimate, and in those numbers, traders are looking for only a modest decline in corn and soybean production from the latest number in December. So nothing big here expected by traders, only about a 50 million bushel reduction in corn production and about a 2 million bushel reduction in soybean production. On the other hand, as we've talked about in the last few episodes of GrainTV, we know in record crop years like this year that USDA tends to increase their January final estimate. So it'll be interesting to see if traders are right and USDA will be cutting those numbers, or if USDA will follow their historical pattern and raise their final January numbers on Monday.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about ending stocks. This is going to be important in that supply and demand report. You can see here it is expected that corn will lower their ending stocks here. That could be as a result of some feed use. That could be as a result of some ethanol production, which continues to run ahead of the pace that the USDA is expecting here. Soybeans also expecting a decline of about 17 million bushels. This most likely is going to come as a revision in export sales. They've already booked 90% of their sales. We've got 34 weeks left in the marketing year, so plenty of time to maybe come in above where the current USDA expectations are. So that's what we're likely to see. Wheat is expected to be coming in higher here, with higher ending stocks by about 12 million bushels. Now, when we talk about the quarterly grain stocks, this is going to be important as well. Keep in mind here that the expectations for quarterly grain stocks is for about 123 billion bushels. This is up 6.4% year over year. If we actually realize that 11.123 billion bushels, that's going to be the largest quarterly stocks for this time period on record, and this is really reflecting that large crop that we had last year coming out of the field. So this is going to be important to watch. Keep in mind here that when we look at these quarterly grain stocks, we could very easily see a number a little bit higher than the average analyst guess. When I was looking down through the average analyst polls, the companies that were polled that provided these analyst estimates, some of the larger, heavier hitting names here were on the high side, above 11.123 billion bushels.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see. The other thing to keep in mind, in record crop years, we usually have very good feed use in this first quarter, and we did have very low prices in September, October, and it's only in the last month or so that we've rallied sharply. So there is the potential, I think, to have pretty good feed use, but we'll see how it plays out on Monday.
Absolutely. And one last report here that will be released on Monday is that winter wheat seedings. It's expected that we're going to see about a 3.8% increase in acres that go to winter wheat seeding. Kevin, anything in particular there we should be keeping our eye on?
Yeah, well, you know, that number is a pretty negligible change, but what you do notice when you look at analyst expectations is they're expecting about a 500,000 acre increase in hard red winter wheat acres and about a 459,000 acre decline in soft red winter wheat acres. So even though the overall number isn't that much change, there is some shifting going on, which could play into intermarket spreads between Kansas City and Chicago for that July new crop delivery.
Absolutely. Guys, on Monday, it's likely we're going to see the market really moving here as we have 4 major reports hitting, a lot of new numbers the market's going to have to digest. We'll see how it all plays out. If you would like to take a demo and be able to view the live quotes as this market is, as these market reports are released, go to grainhedge.com, go take a trial of our 14-day free trial in the top right-hand corner, and we'll be seeing you here on Monday. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great weekend.